All right, welcome everyone to the Tuesday afternoon team call. I know summers are busy. I saw some of my friends and coaches like already getting their kids back to school, which is crazy to me. We still have a few weeks left of summer, so I'm excited about that. We've been extremely busy out doing awesome adventures with the kids, but also staying committed to our goals, which has been awesome. We've had a ton of great momentum coming out of Summit, so I'm excited to do this call. I asked a question in the team page, like what is something that you guys need to learn right now? What's something that you need advice on? And every question that came in was about inviting. I know John's on here live listening in from work, but he had a question about inviting. And I was like, John, I'd love to answer this question, but I'm going to address all of these on the team call tomorrow. So I'm excited to address them. I just want to remind you guys, in the Dynasty Strong Level Up Squad on the team page as the banner, it's a calendar. It's like a handwritten calendar for this month for team calls. It shows you when our next partner opportunity calls are. So we have one this Thursday night at 7:00 p.m. Mountain Time, and then 2 weeks later at 7:00 p.m. Mountain Time as well. So just so you guys know what that is, that's because we're talking about inviting today. That's a meeting, a Zoom meeting that you guys can invite your prospects to, your customers, your friends, family, whoever, to come learn what it means to be a BODi partner, where we explain. So Mallory Landry and I are going to explain. She's a 5-star elite coach on this team. Her and I are going to be doing that together. It's not slides. It's just going to be a Zoom screen and just an open conversation and Q&A about what it means to be a partner. What does a partner do? What's the time commitment? And we address a few objections that people usually have. And then we mention the packages and offer, the option to be a customer or a partner. And we almost always lead them towards being a partner. So for example, one of my brand new coaches invited, he was inviting everybody to come. He had 2 people come to the meeting and they both signed up that night, and he became an Emerald coach after that after that meeting. So that was kind of my cue and reminder, like we need to do these consistently. So that calendar is in our Dynasty Strong Level Up Squad. So it'll be this Thursday, 7 p.m. and then the following Thursday. What we're also doing to take note of is the Tuesday directly after our opportunity meetings, we're doing team-wide getting started right calls, where me and a coach will have slides and we'll talk about the importance of Emerald, rank advancement, how to earn, the business activity tracker, how to get into the 28-day action plan training, and so forth. So the goal on those is to have your prospect be excited on Thursday night, want to get enrolled so they can be on that new coach getting started right call on the following Tuesday. So that's what we're doing schedule wise. And then every other Tuesday, we're just going to do a training like this on what you guys need at any given time. So I'm going to start real quick with an audio from a book I was reading this morning called The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. And I think I got it to the right spot. You probably won't see the screen. I don't know, but you'll be able to hear it.
Self-suggestion or auto-suggestion. Auto-suggestion is the telegraph line over which you register in your subconscious the aim you wish to create in physical form. The subconscious is the intermediary between the conscious thinking mind and infinite intelligence. You can invoke the aid of infinite intelligence through the subconscious only by giving it clear instructions as to what you want. Hence, the critical need for a definite chief aim. The subconscious records the suggestions that you send it through auto-suggestion and invokes the aid of infinite intelligence in translating these suggestions into their natural physical form through natural means which are in no way out of the ordinary. First, you must select the picture to be recorded, your definite chief aim. Then you fix your conscious mind upon this purpose with such intensity that it communicates with the subconscious through autosuggestion and registers that picture. You then watch for and expect manifestations of the physical realization of that picture. Bear in mind that you do not sit down and wait nor go to sleep with the expectation that infinite intelligence has granted your desire. No. You go right ahead doing your daily work with full faith and confidence that natural ways and means for the attainment of your definite purpose will open to you at the proper time and in a suitable manner. Infinite intelligence will not build you a home and deliver it ready to enter, but infinite intelligence will open the way and provide the necessary means, including insights, intuitions, and ideas, which allow you to build your own house. Do not rely upon miracles for your definite chief aim.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the presentation. You guys can see the presentation screen again. Okay, so I absolutely, oh, it says screen sharing is paused. You guys can see the screen, the inviting one-on-one. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I knew this was the topic of the call today. And so, you know, as part of my personal development and meditation this morning, I was like, what's the best way for me to teach what I do, what I see other successful coaches on this team doing? And I was doing my workout and I was listening to that audio and I was like, this is it. Like, as I was listening to that book this morning, those tips by Napoleon Hill about getting a clear picture in your mind of what the definite aim is, what the goal is that you want to accomplish, getting that clear picture. When you get that clear picture and then you work daily with consistency, knowing what that end purpose is, that the means to achieve that goal will come to you, that it will come to you. And a small example of this, and I'll share stories as I teach from this, but then we're going to go very, here's a script I send. Here's how I reach out to people. We'll go through all that stuff. But before we go through all that stuff, you have to first have the belief that there are people out there who need what you have. You have to have the belief that you are capable of figuring out that everything is figure outable and that you can figure out how to make connections with people, meet people, have conversations with them, help connect a solution for them that will help align with their goals and get clear about that. I'm going to give you guys an idea. I was checking in my coach online office, which I'm doing now 3 times a week. I make sure to check in. And my projected rank, when I looked at it one day, like made my jaw drop. So I like looked at it and I was like, okay, what's going on here? And it turns out that in 3 of my different business centers, I needed to add a new partner before next Thursday, or I would drop rank in 3 different business centers. And so I was like, first I was like, oh crap. And I was on my way, on my way to a family reunion. Gabby was driving. I was in the front seat working. And I immediately, my first reaction was like, oh crap, that sucks. And it kind of almost skewed me because it was the first thing I did. I hadn't done my invites yet. I hadn't done my follow-ups. And so my mind was like, oh no. And I had to just stop immediately. I took out my notes and I wrote down sign coach on Gabby's left. I figured out everything I needed to do. Sign coach in my 3rd business center on left. I wrote down everything that I needed to do. I need to make this happen before Thursday. That was my chief aim, my goal of what I need to focus on this week. And to give you guys an idea, I hit Success Club 20 last month, but I only sponsored 2 partners in the whole month. And so now all of a sudden I need 3 partners before Thursday. Does that make sense? Like where I'm at here, it's not what I normally do. I'm normally, you know, my goal is 5 partners a month, but last month, you know, the proof is 2 coaches and Success Club 20. And now I need 3 by Thursday, but I made that a primary aim. Like, this is my goal. This is my focus. I have full belief that I can do this. I know that if I do the right activities, I put focus and intention on it, and I do the work every day, I have faith that it will happen in a way that is, you know, good and right. And guess what just happened? I just signed the 3rd partner about 30 minutes before this call. And it's only Tuesday. I still have 2 days to make that happen. And I share that story because my business for 12 years has functioned like that, where I get a clear idea about what I want my goal to be, which my main goal, and we'll kind of focus on this right here, because we could talk about goals for rank, goals for income, but this focus is going to be goals on inviting and bringing in new customers or partners to your business monthly and consistently. So my goal from the beginning was hit Success Club 10. That was my burning desire, as Napoleon Hill would say, my burning desire. I knew that if I could do that consistently, that I would follow the path of what my coach showed me, Lindsay, who was hitting Success Club 10, that eventually I could earn that Success Club trip, take my wife on the amazing vacation that she would deserve, a 5-star vacation for those efforts. And that it was very likely that if I did that consistently, I would be able to replace my wife's income. So that was my burning desire, hit Success Club 10 every single month. But what I want to share with you guys is your faith is going to waver. Like I started in April. I remember I hit Success Club 10, April through December. I hit it all 9 months coming right out of the gate. I remember when I hit it, I was like, okay, that's the end of the year. I earned my trip. And then I was like, holy crap, I have to keep doing this. Like, how am I going to keep hitting Success Club? And I just had to stay firm to that goal of like, I'm going to hit Success Club 10. And that's my goal monthly. And it's going to be the thing for me that shows that I'm continually bringing on new customers and new partners to my team consistently. And I could tell story after story, like the one I just told you about signing 3 partners from last Thursday morning until 30 minutes ago. But there's been multiple times where, I'll do all of the work consistently, the business activity tracker, and it'll be like 3 weeks and I'm at Success Club 0. And we got 5 days left or 7 days left. And I'll be like, it literally has to come down to having faith, like unwavering faith. Like, God will bring me the right people as long as I keep my belief strong in what I'm doing, that this will change people's lives, and stay consistent in doing the work. And sometimes that means doing a little more work than I did before, like doing a little extra or taking a little time away from X activity to put more time into making more connections or getting more creative in asking for referrals or whatever that might be. And we'll talk about all those things throughout here. But that's why on this first page, I put faith plus enthusiasm plus action. Okay. As you guys are inviting and we're going through these, what I can tell you is if you, let's say you're brand new or you're just getting re-engaged, and you, over the course of 10 days, send out 5 invites a day, 5 new connections a day, 5 new invites a day, and you're at 50 invites and no one has said yes at the end of those 10 days, or maybe even no one said, okay, maybe, or give me more details. If your enthusiasm goes down and your faith goes down and you keep doing the action, you're not going to have any results. If the enthusiasm for what you're doing, the faith that the good seeds will come are not there, the result will not follow it. And I think just so you guys can understand me a little bit better, I learned this before becoming a coach. So maybe you haven't gained this talent or this ability yet to maintain high levels of belief and enthusiasm, but I just want you to just think right now, if you could just tell from somebody that they were discouraged or lacked a little bit of belief and they're inviting you to do something with them, would you jump on board and be like, yeah, let's do it? If you could tell that they were really hesitant about it or didn't believe in it or didn't have faith in it or were frustrated or desperate, could you kind of sense that? Do you believe people can sense that? I do. So you have to have high faith, high enthusiasm, and take massive action. I loved on the National Wake Up Call, the French Canadian girl that shared, she had 50 months or something of Success Club, and then she missed it. And then she had 0 points the next month, and she almost quit. And then she regathered herself, got back with it, and then she's gone on to lead her team to where she's at now and shared on the National Wake Up Call. I love that. So even though she fell short on a goal, which we might do sometimes, she was able to regain that faith, enthusiasm, and take that massive action. And I shared, I learned the majority of what has made me successful, I believe. Obviously, tons of personal development books, but I learned it being a missionary for my church. I had to make the sacrifice. I made the sacrifice at the age of 19 to go to a different country and knock on doors for 2 years straight from the age of 19 to 21 and do it in a different language that I was learning as I went. So every single day I would wake up, read scriptures, work with a companion or a accountability partner, and we would go out and knock doors at 9 a.m. and we would come in at 9 p.m. every day. We would knock doors, we'd get rejected, but every day for 2 years, we did that with faith and belief in our message that we could share with people and that we would find people. And we didn't care how many people shut the door on us, how many people argued against our beliefs with their beliefs. We passionately shared what we believed in, invited with that faith, enthusiasm that God would put us in the path of the right people. And one thing that I want to share about that is and this will be patting myself on the back a little bit, me and some of my companions on our mission, we baptized a lot of people on our mission. And I did that as an introvert. But what I did was lean into my own gifts. So what was that like before I went on my mission? And this is all going to be part of helping you get into people's inboxes and have conversations with people. What made me successful as a missionary is that before going on a mission, I was super passionate about a few things. I skateboarded a lot and I played the guitar. Those were my things. And so as a missionary, I carried around a little photo album that had pictures of me playing the guitar, snowboarding, skateboarding. And one of the things that I did that opened a lot of doors for us to invite was in Central America or South America, in Venezuela and other South American countries, there's things called a plaza. It's a place where there's a statue, benches, and it's where a lot of people hang out in the evenings. And people would play their acoustic guitar. All the teenagers would hang out and skateboard and chat. Well, every night we would stop by that like 30 minutes before we had to go to our apartment and check in for the night. And I would like chat with them in Spanish. Like my Spanish was broken, but they just loved that there was an American speaking Spanish. So you don't have to be perfect in your Beachbody coach business. You just have to be trying. And I would be like, let me see that guitar. And I would like play some acoustic songs. And I would hop on with like dress shoes on, a shirt and a tie. I would jump on their skateboard and I would do a kickflip in the plaza, all dressed up in church clothes. And they'd be like, what? They thought their perception of us were that we were like raised in some monastery and never did anything with our lives except church stuff. And so I'd show them albums of like, I snowboard, here's my girlfriend, here I skateboard, I play the guitar. I'm just like you guys. I'm just out serving the Lord for these 2 years. And so what would happen is, for those of you that are parents on here, which is everybody, when your teenagers come home at night, what do? You ask them, where were you? What were you doing? Who are you hanging out with? Right? And so these kids would say, oh, we met these American missionaries. And then the parents would want to know who these guys were that were talking to their kids. And that's how we were able to get into many doors and chat and teach many families and baptize many families. So it was thinking outside the box in the invite process, right? And I know that was kind of a long story, but I share that story with you because I'm going to give you guys scripts, what your social media can look like and all of that stuff. But the real magic to your invite is going to be your ability to use your gifts and talents to connect with people that you can connect with. Can I get a raised hand or something if that makes sense for you guys? Okay. Sorry, I like seeing you guys on Zoom more, and I only see 3 of you guys. So I need to see that I'm not just talking to a screen. Okay. So faith, enthusiasm, action, you need to use your gifts. Okay. So right here, there's different parts of your business that I want you guys to understand. And first, we're going to talk about the front door of your business. Your Facebook and your Instagram bio and your profile, what your photos look like, and all of that, they communicate a lot. So when somebody comes to your Instagram or your Facebook, you want them to know how you can help serve them. You want them to know that you have groups for them to be a part of for their fitness and health accountability. You want them to know that there's an opportunity for them to earn extra income. And that comes from your profile and what that looks like and your consistency on that. So they need to know who you are. They need to know what your mission is. They need to know what's important to you. They want to know what your brand involves, like what it is that you do. They need to know your personality, and they need to know how to contact you. So those things are important on the front door of your business. So if you guys can see here, mine says, I straight put on there, BODi coach, Scotty Hobbs, BODi coach. I also put on there, you want to learn how to make money with health and fitness, and I'm the one to guide you. Feeling better with each passing year of life. So right on there, I want people to know when they come to my profile, I don't want them to guess, like, what do I do? They can know right away that I'm here to teach them how to make money with health and fitness, and that I'm the guy to guide them in that process. Okay. I pinned you can pin some posts on your Instagram bio. For example, I pinned one of my transformation. I pinned one about personal development, and I pinned one about our team right at the top. You can see those 3 there. One thing about the social media that you'll see Okay, yeah, you guys see it, right? Pink screen inviting. Okay, yeah, you guys can see my Instagram right here. It says front door of your business. You guys can't see this? Uh-oh. Let me see if I can fix that. Let me stop share real quick. I'm all showing you guys what it looks like and it's not here. Let me try sharing again. Share screen. Let's check this. Can you see front door of your business now? Oh, there we are. Okay. So there is the profile, the bio that I just showed you guys and some of those pictures. Let me check the chat and make sure. Okay, there you go. Okay, perfect. So this is your front door of your business. They need to know what you stand for, who you are. You'll see on mine, like, I know it's kind of hidden right here, but you see me and my two boys. You see me doing a workout here. This one right here I just put is me telling my story about first becoming a partner. So be bold about it. One thing that you never want is for one of your friends to be like, are you still doing that Beachbody coaching thing? Like, they should know by looking at your profile. If your friend has to ask you, are you still doing that Beachbody thing, obviously body thing now, then you know that you're not talking about it. You're not talking about on your profile, and you're not talking about it on your stories. So this is your front door of your business. Think about any other business. Like, let's say you started a boutique, you bought a building or rented a building, you got all this antique or like dressers, and maybe it's for like furniture, and you put all that work into it. And you built a Facebook page to make awareness of it. Wouldn't you tell people what the address is, how to come in, what the hours of your store were? You would show products that you had, like, check out this new dresser that just came in. Here's a 15% off sale. Like, you would, on that front door of your business, on your profile, people would know how to contact you, what they can get from you, and so forth, and how to contact you. One of the things I do is I use Linktree. You can see this link right here. It has a couple of things. It has a coach like a coach application, a partner application, and a contact me form that has just some questions like I need help with, and it says health and fitness, Shakeology, whatever it might be. I have a contact me list there. So you can see those. If you want to emulate any of those on my Linktree, just go to my Instagram and you can emulate some of those. But I want people to make sure that if they come here, obviously they can DM me, they can comment, but they can simply click on that as well and fill out an application. So that's the front door of the business. Next, let me make sure you guys can still see. You guys can see the one that says inviting, right? Never send a cold invite. Okay. One thing I want you guys to know as we get into the invite process now is I don't want you to ever just reach out to someone on Instagram or Facebook that you've never talked to and say, hey, I'm running a challenge group starting August 8th. Do you want to join me? I never want to see that. That would be like a super cold invite, and people don't necessarily like that. So there's 3 stages that I want to talk to you guys about the invite process. First one is you follow, like, and comment and start a relationship with someone on social media. The second stage is you go into a DM is their direct message, their inbox, and you start to build the relationship with them. So let's say I find somebody that is a fellow archery hunter. So I see some of their pictures about shooting their bow or whatever it might be. I'm going to follow them because we have something in common. I'm going to like and comment on a few of their posts that I can really relate with, right? They might be shooting their bow. I could be like, hey, what poundage is your bow? What distance are you shooting that, are you sighting your bow at? Whatever it might be. I'm going to comment. I'm going to start that relationship. I'm going to their inbox. I might go in their inbox and be like, hey, I saw your picture of you sighting in your bow. Like, when did you start shooting archery? Right? I'm going to just build a relationship like that. Okay. Or maybe they're a fellow hiker. I'm going to ask them, hey, I just saw you summited a peak, whatever peak. I'll be like, where is that? Where can I find that trailhead? Like, I'll ask questions. Right? Stage 3 is the invite, the follow-up, and the close of the sale. So those are the 3 steps of the invite process. Stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. It's never just going to their inbox, and say, hey, Karen, I saw you were watching my Instagram stories. Do you want to be in my challenge group? Or do you want to, have you ever thought about being a BODi partner? It's never directly to that. Okay, I'm going to bring up the chat so I can make sure to see it. Okay, John's got to run. He's at work. Okay, so we're going to go through those, talk a little bit more in detail, start the relationship. I'm going to give you guys some techniques that I've learned that I want to share with you guys. The 311. Okay, the 311 is when you go to their page, let's say they liked your post, they commented, they're in your stories, you've attracted them into your social media somehow, or maybe you even are out looking at hashtags like we're building a house. So I'm connecting with a lot with people who are building a home or just finished building a home. So maybe I'm looking at home builders or whatever hashtags. What I'm going to do, so maybe I seek them out, maybe I track them in. There's both ways. The 311 is I'm going to like at least 3 of their posts. I'm going to comment on at least 1 of them, and then I'm going to go into their inbox with a private question about one of their posts. Then I want you guys to make sure that you're genuine. If there's no connection or they're not responsive to you, don't force it. If you're not relating with them or they're not engaging with you, just move on. One of my most successful coaches back in 2012, like he was doing some awesome stuff with his like BMX biking. Like he won the Do Tour and stuff. And I found out he was from my hometown. So I made a relationship and went into his DMs. He never responded to me. 2 years later, his wife saw an ad for one of the workouts and he's like, oh, I think there's some dude on my Instagram that does that stuff. Let me reach out to him. He reached out to me. We built a relationship. He became one of my best friends and a 2-star diamond coach. But it was 2 years from that initial contact that I made of starting a relationship. So that's where we go back to what I first shared with you guys. You can't lose enthusiasm and faith in what you're doing as you take part in these actions. You have to be patient that the right people will come in at the right time. So be genuine. If you don't make a connection, move on. And then another thing that is a great tip that I do, and I do this a lot in my follow-ups as well as starting the relationship, is get into their stories. A lot of times they're watching my stories. So I'll watch a couple of their stories before I go into their inbox and I'll see what they're up to. Maybe they're sharing that they were on a hike with their family this past weekend or they were on vacation. Like I'll comment and I'll be like, oh, that beach looks incredible. Like I'll just go into their stories and respond to their stories and see what they're doing. So they can see, because don't people want like a kind of like a necessity of people is they want to be noticed. People want to be seen. So if you're seeing their stories and noticing their stories, they're going to feel seen by you, not just some inbox thing. Like I get at least one a day about some service that wants to expand my network or any number of things that comes into my inbox. And I just ignore every single one of those comments and actually mark them as spam because they're copy and pasted things and they don't ask me what I do. They don't comment on anything that I do. They just pitch me their thing, right? So people want to be seen. So get into their stories. Building a relationship, be relatable. As you reach out to someone and they're watching your stories or maybe someone comments on your post that you made, like say thank you to them, go into their DMs and say thank you, ask people for advice. So I'm always doing this. Like right now I'm in the home building phase. So I'm always asking people advice on that, on different things, on contractors, on like I'm building a relationship with someone that's building a house. They're at the same stage we are. And like, I'm always chatting with her about like, because their foundation's about to be poured. Like, when's your foundation going to get poured? Like, are you running into any issues? Was there water? Like, I'm just asking questions. So I'm asking advice, also asking questions. And remember that, guys, you're speaking to other humans, right? There are other humans on the other side of the screen, just like if you're at your kid's baseball game and the lady or the dad next to you asked you a question, you're having a conversation just like that. So one of the things that I do, here's a little example. You could put like, hey, Lacey, thank you so much for following along with our life or our stories. It's always a little crazy over here, but I love encouraging others in fitness and nutrition and in life in general. I don't think we've met and I use like quotes yet. I just wanted to pop in and say hello. And then I just typically ask, like, where are you from? Like, what state do you live on, or where are you from? That's what mine looks like when I just start a conversation. Watching your stories, keep it simple. If someone's watching your Instagram stories, let's say, Karen, you go into your stories and 50 people watch your stories from yesterday on average. You go in, you find some people that you haven't had a conversation with. You just put like, hey, Donnie, I see you're following my stories. Let me know if you'd like any info about the online fitness groups I run. I just wanted to extend the offer. Did you want some info? Thanks again for following along. Another example could be, I see you're following my stories. Let me know if you'd like info on our fitness groups I run. I know you've been following for a while, so I just wanted to extend the offer. An example I like to share about this is, so let's imagine you're in your neighborhood. And so our neighborhood has mailboxes, like a mailbox lockbox that multiple people use. They don't have a mailbox in front of every house. Let's imagine someone's having a barbecue this Saturday night at 7 p.m. It's a potluck. They're going to cook all the meat or whatever, and you just have to bring a dessert or a side. Let's say they print out this beautiful flyer and put it on that mailbox. Neighborhood barbecue this Saturday. Bring your kids. We'll have a bounce house. We'll provide the meat. Bring a side. We're excited to meet you and have fun. Have a fun weekend or a fun Saturday night as neighbors, right? And you're walking by and you see that. You might go. You might not go. And especially if you don't know them, like me, I'm introverted. So I'd see that and be like, probably not for me. I don't know them. Maybe that's for, they're just kind of throwing that out there, right? I would be like, that's not for me. Now imagine that person that's throwing that barbecue knocks on has that sign. Yes, they have that thing up, but they knock on the door on Thursday and they're walking with their dog and a couple of their kids. They just knock on the door, or they see you out in the front yard and they're like, hey, Michelle. And they're like, maybe they don't know your name. They'd be like, hey, we're Scott and Gabby. I don't know if you saw, but we're the ones that put that thing on the mailbox for the barbecue this Thursday night. These are kids. We have 5 kids. They're ages 7 to 15. And then you see them there and you're like, hey, it looks like you have some kids. How many kids do you have? You're having a normal conversation, right? Oh, look, our daughters are the same age. You have a conversation. Maybe they have the same teachers, right? And then you just say like, hey, it would be awesome if you guys came to the barbecue on Saturday night. Do you guys want to come? How much more likely would you go to that barbecue with that personal invite at your front lawn versus just seeing the poster? Like, highly more likely that you show up, right? So that's what going into their inbox does. Like, you can't just post on social media and expect to grow a business. You have to message people. You have to build relationships. You have to talk to them face to face or online. So when they're watching your stories, that's I want you to think about that analogy of your invite is knock on their door, talk to them in their front yard, and invite them to come to the party. Don't just put it up on your social media with a before after picture and say, I'm running a group starting next August 8th. DM me if you want info. Almost highly likely you're not going to be selling total solution packs and getting people into your group. All of it comes from, I call it the unsexy inviting. It's just the day-to-day having multiple conversations with multiple people and continuing to meet new people and invite them. Okay, let's say someone's liking your post. Here's a simple thing you can do. Let's say you put up a post. It doesn't even have to be a transformation. It could be a post of your camp out you did, or your family vacation, or something you learned in your personal development. You could just say like, hey, I saw you like my post about my client's transformation. Let me know if you'd ever like info on the online fitness groups that I run. I appreciate you following along. Or I could say, I see you're following my post. Let me know if you'd like info on the online fitness groups I run. I just wanted to extend the offer. Do you want some info? So just real simple. So I'm going to get another drink. Okay, next, the sorry invite. I use this one a lot. So it's like, hey, thanks so much for following along in my stories again today. You're always so faithful to watch and support me. I just had to reach out and say, I'm sorry I haven't done this before, but because we've been friends for a minute now, but would you like more info on my next boot camp? I don't even know if you have specific health goals, but I love the community and being able to connect with others over health and fitness. Would you be up to learn more about my August boot camp. So I use that one all the time, and it doesn't always look exactly like that. I just copy and paste whatever seems to be working for that time. But a lot of times, like, for example, I just met a couple guys out whitewater rafting. I guarantee you within, like, we've been chatting back and forth, about his home gym. One of them does CrossFit. I asked him if he uses any pre-workouts and different, I'm just asking questions. I guarantee by next week, I'll be like, dude, I can't believe I haven't even asked you if you want to try doing one of these meal plans with me or doing one of these programs with me. Like, I run these monthly boot camps. Let me know if you'd want to be a part of our next boot camp. Like, I can't believe I haven't asked you yet. So I do it like that. I do a sorry invite like that. And I typically do that when somebody doesn't ask me what I do, or tell me that they have some goals, or tell me they're inspired by what we're doing with our health and fitness, or one of the transformations I share. And I can't get it to the invite. This is my last go-to of the sorry invite, where I'm like, hey, I apologize, I haven't ever asked you this before, but every month I run a VIP challenge group for health and fitness. Would you be interested in being one of those? Or do you have any health and fitness goals that we might be able to help you with? Okay. So next we're going to talk about FORM. FORM is acronym for Family, Occupation, Relationships, and Message. When I was getting trained for 2 months to be a missionary in Venezuela, they didn't call it this, but we literally at the training center would shut the door of the classroom. We'd knock on the door, and they had like pictures on the wall, and we would open the door, and we would like practice asking questions to make a relationship. We'd be like, hey, is that your son in that picture? Like, we would at the door, like, ask questions to build that relationship or to form the prospect. So FORM stands for family. Talk about their family. It's one of the first things I always do. How long have you been married? Are you married? How many kids do you have? What ages are they? All of that stuff. Are they in sports? I try to find something that I can relate with them. Next, I ask them about their job, their occupation. Did you go to school for that job? Is it what you always wanted to do? Like, there's tons of questions you can ask about their occupation. A lot of times when I'm forming someone and I get to the occupation part, and I ask, it sounds like a simple question, but I always ask people when I find out what they do, is that what you always wanted to do? And then that's where they kind of start to open up and tell me what they actually wanted to do with their life, but somehow didn't end up there. And I think that's a huge gateway and entrance for me to talk about being a partner with BODi, because I can relate with them and share with them so what I wanted to do as well, and how I didn't end up there, and how I found something else that it guided me more towards what I wanted to do with my life. Talk about relationships, and then share your message. The M of FORM is share your message. And that could be like your elevator pitch. Mine would be just a real quick, I ran into something when I get to the sharing the message part. I'd be like, I had 3 kids and I just kind of lost my fitness level, and I ran into a friend that was just extremely ripped. And I asked him, like, if he could help me get in shape, because I was inspired by him. And he ended up telling me, you should do that P90X workout. I committed to P90X following the meal plan. And in 90 days, I lost 38 pounds and got abs for the first time. But what I found out is that I could share those workout programs with other people, and that Beachbody paid me to do that. And that's when I fell in love with helping other people with their health and fitness. So that's where you would share the message at the end. Every prospect that I talk to, whether it's in the DM or on the phone, they're going to hear my story about how I started P90X, how I found out I could help other people. And then the other part of that message that I share is I found out that if I helped enough people get results like I got with P90X and Insanity, if I could help enough people get results, I would be able to bring my wife home from work, because she was working night shifts where I worked 12-hour days. She would be home alone with the kids at night. And we just lived 2 separate lives, where I worked days and she worked nights. And I found out that if I helped enough people, we would be able to spend the evenings together. So, and then I tell them, Karen, I'm committed to helping you lose whatever it is that we talked about in that conversation, lose those 30 pounds, because it means that I get to spend more time with my family. So that's where I share my message. So that's the FORM method. relate with them over family, occupation, relationships, and then share your message with them. One of my mentors told me in the very beginning, whoever tells the story the most wins. So every prospect I talk to gets to hear the story about how I started P90X, how I found out that if I help people with these programs, I could bring my wife home from work. And so I still tell that same story 12 years later. Okay, this is the next thing I wanted to share with you guys about the invite process. The fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. So create clarity. One of the things, so we'll use a couple examples here. Once you make the invite, people are going to process the information. They got to think about it. They got to talk with their spouse, see if it fits in the budget. There might be fears like, I don't know if I want to commit to it because I've tried things like this before and not followed through. All of that stuff. So the follow-up is important because your prospect, even if you make the invite, you do a great job, they say yes, or they're going to think about it, or they're going to do it next payday. You still need to follow up with them because these doubts are going to come in. They're going to be processing the information. And so you continuing to follow up with them is going to be key to getting people into your challenge groups, getting them into becoming a coach with you. I have people that I know will be a great partner that I follow up with sometimes 9 months, a year, or I'm checking in at least once a month before they actually sign up. So that's where I love that phrase, the fortune is in the follow-up. So I haven't been able to quit thinking about helping you get started in your desire to build a business or get out of that job working in the steel mill, whatever it is that conversation was about. And I just remind them, I think that's so powerful. So one of my recent prospects, he's going to watch this call. He just signed up, but he's at work right now. So it would be like me saying, Dustin, I haven't been able to quit thinking about your passion for health and fitness and how it's transformed your life over these past few months. I know your goal is to eventually get out of the steel mill and to help provide for your mom after your dad passed away suddenly and she took on those bills. I think it's super noble that you want to take on that goal, that you want to build this business with your passion of health and fitness and be able to help also provide for your mom. That's so powerful. I know that's going to be a powerful why for you. I'm ready to help you get started. So, and be like, I sent you the info. Are there any concerns that you have? What might be holding you back? Our group is starting at this time. I think for him, I was like, I think the best thing for you is to just get into our August 7th challenge group, participate as kind of like a customer, but even though you're signed up as a partner, really see what it is we do, how we work as partners. Is that something that you want to do? So I've been working with him for months. I sent him a voice text like that. And he's like, you know what? I think I'm ready. Not just to get into the group, but I want to start helping people. I want to cover my own costs and get started. So he had obviously might have had his hesitations. Things were holding him back, waiting for the perfect time, all these things. But Dustin signed up because I did that follow-up. I sent him a message, remind him of his goals. Are there any hesitations and so forth? So remember that fortune will be in the follow-up. You can't just invite them and wait for them to sign up. You got to continue following up with people. But I think this is an important thing to note right here, where I think a lot of people fall short is maybe you invite 50 people and you have 5 people that are interested and you maybe even send a share a cart. But then all of your business activity just turns into following up with those same 5 people, waiting for them to sign up. Remember I said some of those people take 9 months, right? Or even a year. Some people are ready right away. Like my guy, Jason, that I reached out to 2 days ago, signed up right before this call, 3 days after we made contact, right? Some people can be right away. Some people are going to be months. Where I think I see a lot of people fall short is you don't continue the process in the business activity tracker of starting 3 to 5 new conversations every single day. So all the things we've been talking about in these slides of reaching out to new people in your stories that are liking your posts, going out and actively finding people, that as you're doing this follow-up process and the invite process, that you don't stop inviting new people. Does that make sense? Raise your hand if you're still with me. Okay, that's the biggest place. You may hit Success Club a month and then you hit 2 months, but then all of a sudden it's dry. 0, 0, 0. I can almost guarantee it's because somewhere in that process you stopped doing the new conversations and the new invites. So let's make sure that we remember that. Okay, we talked about the front door of your business, getting in the inboxes, the back door of your business, some rules that I live by. There's 3 rules right here. 80% of the work is behind the scenes in messages. It's that thing where you guys watch, you might be watching Scotty that hits Success Club 10 every month for 12 years without ever missing. And you watch my post and you're like, okay, I see his post. Maybe you emulate the post for a few months. And you're like, why is it not working for me still? It's because 80% of that is behind the scenes in the messages, the follow-ups, the text, the voice messages, and doing everything that we just talked about in this. That's rule number 1. 80% of the work is behind the scenes in the messages in the inbox. Rule number 2, if I wake up and I do my business activities and my next activity is answer all messages in my inbox, in my Facebook, my Instagram, and my email. If I wake up and there's no messages in there, I am not doing my job. Like I didn't do my job yesterday, because like I've gotten to that place sometime where I'm like, oh, today's going to be a short day of work. There's only 5 messages in my inbox. Like I expect for myself when I wake up, there's going to be like 30 to 40 messages in my inbox, because consistently I've been starting new conversations, actively engaged in conversations, inviting people, following up with people. So make a rule for yourself. If you wake up without messages in your inbox, you didn't do your job the day before. Rule number 3, people will get excited about what you get excited about. Goes back to the slide number 1, have faith, enthusiasm, and action. I can tell you when I get in, and I've done this multiple times over the 12 years, where I just get into like the groove of things and doing them without all the excitement, where it's just going through that's the word, going through the motions. If you're just going through the motions, sending invites, making conversations, but you're not excited about what you're doing or excited about what you have to offer people, they're not going to get excited about it either. So I can tell you one of the main reasons people are getting why it's easier for me to hit Success Club right now and recruit coaches is because I'm very excited about doing our 2 partner opportunity meetings twice a month, about being able to do team-wide opportunity calls, about running VIP challenge groups, starting every single month and doing it together with some of my coaches. Like I'm super excited about that. So my clients are super excited about that. So when I talked to my guy, Jason, this morning, that I only reached out 2 days ago, he signed up right after the call, because I'm like, dude, I'm so excited about this. Me and 3 other guys, we go live once a day, or each of us goes. So you're going to get like 4 live videos a week. We're going to be sharing tips. I'm like, all these guys are in their 40s. They're super ripped and they're super committed to their health and fitness goals. I think you're going to get a ton of value out of it. So like he's excited about it, right? Like he felt that excitement in that phone call. Okay. Next, inviting to coaching is no different. So number 1, talk about the coaching opportunity over and over and over. If you're not recruiting coaches and partners and you're only recruiting to your challenge group, it's because you're only talking about your nutrition, your challenge group, your fitness program. And so you're recruiting to that, you're hitting Success Club with that, but you're not building a team because you're not talking about the coaching opportunity. So you have to talk about the coaching opportunity over and over and over. I actually try to do it at least once a day in my stories. I try to talk about something that has to do with coaching or the coaching opportunity, whether it's the community, the friendships, that being a coach helps me stay accountable for 12 years, the discount on my Shakeology, one of my coaches' success. I'm always talking about something with coaching. Talk about what it's done for you. Next, it takes time and consistency before people join you. Like an example for me, I loved P90X. I learned about the coaching opportunity and it still took me 8 months, right? 8 months. So I want you to think to yourself right now, from when you first heard about these programs or coaching, how long did it take you? And you guys could put that in the chat thread. How long did it take you before you became a coach? It takes time and consistency, okay? So you have to be patient. Once again, it goes back to having faith, enthusiasm, and consistency. I can't tell you how many times I brought on a new coach and they went, I'll use the phrase, balls to the wall on their business for 3 months. maybe sold 1 or 2 challenge packs. They didn't hit Success Club like they wanted. They got defeated. They stopped doing the activities, started believing less in themselves and that this was possible for them. Stop inviting, stop the workouts, stop the Shakeology, quit. Well, guess what happens? Then their friends and prospects that they were inviting or brought to the coach opportunity calls are finally ready 6 months from now, 7 months from now, 8 months from now, a year from now. And guess who signs them up? Me. Guess who would have signed them up if they didn't quit and if they followed this process and kept the faith, kept the excitement, and so forth moving forward. Okay. You guys know Beth Isbell on this team. She is from one of my high school friends that no longer builds a business, that was excited at one point, then lost excitement, lost faith. And now Beth is ours. And she's an elite coach. And Mallory is hers. And Mallory's an elite coach. So it comes from, you guys have to be patient, that it takes time and it takes consistency before people are willing to join you. So you guys can screenshot this. I can post it in the team page if you want. Here's just some ideas that I gathered from somebody. If you're like, what do I talk about? If I want to talk about coaching, there's a bunch. I'm not going to read them. Share a failure you have overcome in coaching. Share a lesson you've learned from personal development. Share a financial transformation, freedom of time post, so many different things, right? Different ideas for you. So you can screenshot that, or I can share that in the team page for you guys. Okay. I did want to end this at the hour. So we have 8 minutes. I'm going to end with this, the scripture, this quote here. And then I want you guys to ask any questions if you have them. And there are different activities, but the same God produces each gift in each person. And I share that because all these activities, these are all activities of the business activity tracker of, you guys know the business activity tracker, connect with new people, start conversations, add new followers, invite them, follow up with them. And then obviously then there's the help people get results and your personal development and all that stuff, right? But the main thing of what we talked about today is that whole process of the invite and follow up. I want to remind you guys that all the activities are going to be pretty much the same. All these different activities are going to be the same, but each of you guys has your own gift, your own unique gifts and abilities to connect with people. Like Lacey can connect with people that I can't connect with. Karen, you can connect with people that I'll never be able to reach or connect with. Same with Michelle. Let's see who's all on here. Same with Donnie, same with Chris, same with Jeremy. You guys all have the ability to connect with people that I will never be able to relate with or connect with. And so use your gifts, use your talents to get out there and reach other people. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen right now so I can see all of you guys. Lacey, I'm just seeing the chat now. You did the workouts 4 years, did the workouts and everything for years. I remember you were like my first customer that ordered Activit when I shared a special back in the day, our old Activit pills. So, okay. Do you guys have any questions for me before we log out? Specific inviting questions? I would be happy to answer them. We have 5 minutes-ish.
Should we unmute or use the chat?
Yeah, just unmute. I love hearing your voices better.
You talked about the 3-1-1. Would you do that like all in one sitting, or would you space that out over a couple of days?
I would do it initially with that very first contact. Let's say Donnie. Did I pronounce your name right? Thumbs up. Okay. Let's say Donnie's building a house and I'm building a house, and I meet her in a home building Facebook group. And she's at the same phase I am, or just a step ahead. So I comment on it. Oh, the floor plan looks beautiful. I'm just giving a scenario, right? I comment on that post in the group. Then this is Facebook. Then I click on her name. I go to her page, to her Facebook page. It might be private. It might be public. You never know. Either way, I add her as a friend. If it's public, I'm going to go like a couple of her pictures, 3 of them. If I'm following this method, at least 3. I've already technically made the comment in the group, so there's some sort of comment connection there. But if her page is public and there's a family picture she put up, I'm going to say something like beautiful family, right? It's going to be a genuine comment. Then I'm going to go to her inbox. I'm going to say, hey, Donnie, I commented on your post in that home building help page about your floor plan. And I'll be like, I'm curious, when I'd ask a genuine question. Like, how long from when you first started the build to get to where you're at right now? We're a couple of steps behind. I'd ask a genuine question like that. So I do the 3 likes on her page, a comment on the family picture, or I already did the comment in the group, and then the message. Okay, so that's all done on the initial contact. But when if we have an engaging conversation and we engage back and forth, and there's some sort of connection where we're building a friendship, and she's on my follow-up list, then when I go to follow up with her next week or 3 days from now, whatever you decide to do, I would go back in to Donnie. Maybe she responded to me immediately. The next day I respond back. I always ask a question, so it tries to keep the conversation going. So I'd ask another question. If she stops engaging and I follow up next week, then I would go to her page. If there's a new post, I'm going to like the new post, or I'm going to comment on it. So it's not a one-time deal. So long answer to your very short question. I do the 313 initially from the beginning, but on the follow-up, I also comment and like before I go straight to their DM. Does that make sense? And one thing, another tip that just made me think about that, a lot of times, let's say I invited Donnie to my challenge group. Eventually I get to that invite and she's like, yeah, I'd like more info. And I send her a video. Okay. That there's some on the Vimeo page that explain the BODi Partner opportunity. That's the one I send. So let's say I send that to her and I don't hear back from her. It's been a week and she doesn't tell me what her thoughts were. I say, hey, would you watch this video and let me know how you think being a partner with BODi or doing these workouts could benefit you? She doesn't respond. The next week, I always assume I don't assume oh, she's not interested or she thinks it's too expensive. Like, I don't let those things come into my mind. I think maybe Donnie was dropping her kid off at soccer and she opened it up and she started watching it and her kid ran into the car and she put her phone away and she forgot, because that's me. So I don't assume that she's not interested. I just say, hey, I don't know if you were able to watch that or if you got busy last week. I know how it is as a parent. Are there any questions? I would just follow back up. Are there any questions that you might have, or did you have the chance to watch that video? So I always think like that. Like, I always think like maybe because I'm like that, I'll be like waiting to pick my daughter up from gymnastics and I open a text and then she comes in or my wife calls or something, right? And you get distracted and you don't answer. So when I'm doing my follow-ups, I always kind of do the benefit of the doubt of like, maybe they just got busy and forgot about it. So that's why I think there's so much fortune in the follow-up is I think coaches too often assume like they didn't respond, so they're not interested. Whereas they might just be busy. It might be the wrong time. And also another thing to think about when you're inviting is, have your kids ever asked you to go do something that you would easily say yes to if you weren't in a bad mood or you weren't stressed out about something? Right? And I'm just like, man, if you would have asked me before whatever, like I would have in a heartbeat taken you to the Dollar Tree to go get that little craft that you wanted to do. But right now, I don't want to talk to anybody, right? Have you ever been in those kind of moods? Right? So your prospect too is just understand that your prospect has a life. They have a spouse, probably. They have a job they could be stressed about. So if they're short in their answers or they're not responsive, they could, it might highly likely be that they do want to do it with you or they are interested, but it's just the wrong time. And I taught my kids this lesson the other day. We were in a rush to get in the motorhome and drive 3 hours away to go on a whitewater rafting trip. And this nice kid from Slovakia came to my door with a bag full of educational books. And like, I was like trying to be so friendly to him, and he just like kept pulling out the next pitch where I'm like, oh, we're not interested. Even though I didn't tell him we're trying to leave. I was like, oh, we're not interested or not right now. But thanks. I wish you the best of luck. But like, if I was not trying to leave or get my kid to a practice, I would have been more than happy to step out on the front door and meet this kid that's out of the country, because I was a missionary once. I was knocking on doors in a different language, and I would listen to his pitch about the books, and who knows, I could have bought them, right? But what was it? Was it that he did his pitch wrong? or he had the wrong personality. No, I was trying to get in the motorhome and leave. And then he knocked on the door at the exact wrong time, right? So remember that in your invite process. It's not always about you, or you're doing things wrong, or you don't have the right opportunity for someone. That people have lives, they might be busy with something. So that's where I think the fortune is really in the follow-up, is just giving people the grace and understanding. Does that make sense? I could talk forever on this, but we do have to get going. I have a design meeting to get to with my wife in like 15 minutes. So, okay. Grateful you guys were on here. If this is beneficial, I do record them so you can share them with anybody on your team. But more importantly, you guys spent an hour of your time away from your family. So the biggest thing I could ask of you guys is immediately upon leaving this, or make the commitment today, go start a conversation with at least 5 new people with what you learned today, and get some messages coming into your inbox. I don't care if you invite them. I want you to start those conversations and get into that process first. Okay. All right. We'll see you guys later. And thanks for coming later.